So, welcome, one and all, to the beginning of the Vanguard's Atonement campaign. I'm very excited for this. It's been a while since I've run D&D. Or really any RPG. You're probably going to hear Gretchen crying in the background. That's okay, she's fine. She just doesn't want to go to sleep.
Sure, it's not having a nice night.
So I guess, yeah, everyone all good?
What did you say?
Welcome, essentially. Alright, so yeah, I guess we can just get right into it. So, we're gonna start with a little bit of a sort of cinematic, and then we'll transition into actual play.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Welcome to the continent of Corvair. The date is Larvayon the 13th, midsummer of the year 998 YK, or Year of the King. And you don't need to write all these things down. It has been nearly a millennium since the Kingdom of Galifar was founded and took control of Corvair, but only little more than a century since the beginning of the last war. A conflict between the original 5 countries in Corvair, which tore the Kingdom of Galifar apart after the death of King Leotorin. This war raged on for 102 bloody years, splitting Galifar into 17 different countries, up until the Day of Mourning. On this fateful day, a wall of dead gray mist rose over the country of Sire, destroying everything in its path, and leaving what was once the heart and soul of the Kingdom of Galifar in uninhabitable wasteland known as the Mournland. This cataclysm shook Corvair to its core, leading to the Treaty of Thronehold being signed 2 years later, ending the last war and leaving all of Corvair in a cold war. Who could unleash such power? Was this a weapon? And if so, would those responsible issue their demands? Were the borders of the lingering walls of mist stable, or could they expand at any moment? What was to be done with the Siren refugees surging into every adjacent nation? Fear of the Morning ended the war, but all of those questions and many more still remained unanswered. However, our story starts much smaller than that, with a group which you all would come to join known as the Vanguard, a humanitarian organization based in Flamekeep, Thrain, which works to better the lives of all people in the wake of the last war and the mourning. Today, the Vanguard is hosting a large combat tournament in Flamekeep, promoting their newest generation of Vanguard squadrons. So, as is becoming tradition, the Vanguard is hosting this fighting tournament between their newly christened squadrons. This Coliseum is filled with the citizens of Flamekeep, family and friends of the new Vanguard members, and members of the Church of the Silver Flame, all excited to see who will be the top squadron of the Vanguard's second generation. All of you watch intently as the leader of the Vanguard, Auric Vaminor, steps into the center of the Coliseum. You listen as he welcomes everyone to the event, and thanks the other Vanguard groups for attending. The Revelry, the Resistance, the Clergy, and the Pride. He explains that tonight, the Vanguard's Antiquity and the Vanguard's Progeny will fight in group combat to see which team would be named champion of the tournament. Auric then welcomes in the two groups, and the crowd gets riled up and cheers as the Antiquity and the Progeny, two groups full of bright-eyed young men and women, taunt each other and try to excite the crowd even more. But unfortunately, this feeling of excitement quickly fades as you watch the members of one of the two squadrons almost begin to shimmer, as if a veil was being dropped from over them. In their place, you see nearly half a dozen feline humanoid forms. The cheering dies down. You see one of the figures quickly cast a spell towards Auric, the leader of the Vanguard, suspending him in place. Below him, you see the feline humanoids begin to butcher the other real Vanguard squadron. Just absolutely stunned, Auric's eyes go wide as the crowd begins to get confused and then panicked and then horrified. He watches on as just unable to break free of this invisible force contains him, as the bodies of over half a dozen teenage Vanguard recruits lie murdered and mutilated by the 3 fiends which seem to be leading the attack. But before any of this was to actually happen, all of you were here in Flamekeep. So Aura, would you kindly describe your character?
Like the physical features? Yeah. Okay. I am a wood elf. Okay. Ooh.
That's all good. I'm just thoughts.
Okay. I am a wood elf. I am very tall, around 6'2", to be exact. My eyes are green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And my hair is about it falls to the mid of my back, and it is chestnut brown. I'm very pale, and of course, since I'm a wood elf, I have long ears, long pointed ears, which I recently pierced them myself. I'm going through a little phase. I am 170 years on the dot. I just turned 170. And what I wear is just like a light form of hunting gear. It is brown, the traditional, maybe a little bit of chainmail here and there on my waist. On my back is a bow. And strapped around my neck is an ocarina. I also have a cloak kind of covering everything. And I usually wear my hood kind of half up and half down. And that is my character and her looks.
Alright, so alright, you find yourself wandering into the border of Flamekeep. Just, almost, it's been a while since you've been in big civilization. I mean, if you can even say you've ever been in a big civilized town. But as you wander into here, your stomach is rumbling. You've been traveling for quite a while. And you just see travelers, passers-by. So what are you doing?
First, I am very, very hungry. I forgot to pack food with me for my very long journey out of the endless woods. So, there's a huge stall of just apples. Now, of course, who would eat all of them apples by themselves? So, of course, it's to share them with everyone else. So I'm gonna go up to the stall and I'm just gonna grab one, shine it on my shirt, and take a bite.
So you walk up and you see some... If people were to be watching this, you would see there's an apple vendor at a cart just currently bagging up a handful of apples and handing them over to a family, taking a bit of coin, and Ara, you just saunter up and just grab an apple, shine it on your shoulder, and just bite it. I'd say roll a sleight of hand check.
What is a sleight of hand check? What
So,
die is it?
If you go on your sheet, everything's gonna be a D20, but if you go on your sheet, you will see sleight of hand. It's one of your skills. You have a +2 in it, so just roll a D20 and add 2.
D20 and add 2. Okay. A 14.
Alright, so you saunter up, you grab this apple, and just bite into it walking away. You don't think... the vendor didn't notice. Not that you would pay attention to that. But you saunter off. Some other people see you do that and almost like look a little shocked. But you got your food. It tastes good. It's like a good old Honeycrisp. You walk off, and you see there's just this bazaar seems to be filled with just people giving away food, giving away items. It's strange. It's a very communal vibe. It's very nice. People are talking. They seem to be trading things. Like these shiny little pieces of metal seem to be handed around a lot. And you see one guy sitting beside a building, very raggedy clothes, with a small dog next to him, and just seems to be waving a cup out in front of him, and looks over towards you and just asks, you got any coin, Mrs.?
Mrs. Aura. Miss, I'm not married yet.
Miss, any coin?
Coin? What's a coin?
So he reaches down into his cup and he pulls out a little copper, like little disc. He shows it to you. Coin. You use it to buy things. What everyone's doing around here.
To buy? What is to buy? I only know to hunt, to sleep, to eat, to sing, to play my ocarina.
Well,
what's to buy?
So he stands up and he gets the copper piece and he goes over to you. And do you still have some of the apple left? Would you say?
I do. Yes.
So
I only took one bite.
So he goes over to you. If you'd let him, he takes your hand and he puts the copper piece in it, closes your hand, and then takes the apple and bites into it. And he says, "That's buying. I gave you coin, and you give me something in return." He takes another bite.
I'm going to pick up the coin, sniff it, and try to bite it. Sir, this is unedible.
You bite it, and it tastes. It almost gives you a little bit of a shock. It's a strange taste. It's essentially pennies in your mouth. But he just bites into it and he says, "Well, it's not edible, but like I just did, you can buy things that are edible with it."
Oh. We just did to buy, right?
Yes. I give you coin, you give me apple. I bought an apple from you. That's buy. We just buyed.
And you're saying that all I have to do to get an apple or to eat is I just give this little coin to somebody and they give me an apple?
Well, usually you need more coins. It depends on how many they ask you for, right? Something more valuable, more coin. Shinier coins. And he reaches into his cup, he pulls out a little silver piece. This is more than that. You see how it's shinier? People like shiny.
Can I buy another apple for this coin, or did you just take that from me?
You can try. And he's just finishing up the apple at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, sir. I will definitely have to buy another apple.
He's just finishing up the apple and he says, "Well, good luck to you." And he sits back down. He's just finishing up the apple. And then he's got just the core and he like tosses it to his dog, who just runs off and just bites it and starts just waving its head around, throwing it about. So, as you just continue to walk around the bazaar, Brom, can you describe your character? We can't hear you. Oh, bro. Alright, there we go. He's coming back. Yes.
One sec, I gotta set everything back up again. There we go. Okay, so you see standing there a cloaked figure that is obscenely large, like maybe 7-8 feet tall, and he is covered in I would say, a black hooded cloak, and you can kind of see the fringes of chainmail underneath the cloak. He's got black gloves on, and he's sitting there haggling away with a blacksmith or someone right now.
All right. So Brom, you're talking with this blacksmith, and he just tells you, so what kind of gear are you looking for?
I'm looking for an upgrade for my armor. There's holes in this, and I'm showing him like pulling my chainmail. I'm looking for, and I like knock on like plate steel or whatever nearby, something like this.
Says, oh well, yeah, we can definitely get you something like that, but seem to be a bigger guy. It might cost you a little more. Maybe might need something custom made. I'd need to take measurements if you want to start doing that. You got the coin for this?
I kind of open up, like I shuffle my cloak, and I open up my cloak a little bit, and you see there's like a satchel hanging, like almost a backpack hanging off one shoulder, and it's by my hip. I open it up, rummaging around, looking at all 15 gold in there. No. Do you by chance, maybe I can help work for it? I'm good with my hands.
Says, well, I'd need to see what you can do. I mean, I can do trade-ins for that chainmail, but what are you capable of?
I can hit things I can hit metal with hammer.
So you know how to blacksmith? You can forge?
In a way. And I kind of like shuffle in my cloak again and pull out my halberd, and I show some of the rune carving work I've done. I can maybe help design some of your work.
So,
make it look prettier.
You can carve runes, you say?
Yes, but more so, I was thinking intricate patterns to make your armor stand out. Runic languages are a little bit more complicated than that.
Make a persuasion check.
It's a natural 1. This is a good start to the campaign. Natural 1 plus, 4. 5.
Natural 1 is what I heard. So, he looks at you and says, I mean, it's nice work, but it's going to take a long time for you to work off even one set of armor. Look, listen, buddy, unless you've got the coin, I couldn't really deal with you.
Okay, well, I'll go see if I can find another blacksmith to impress, and then I kind of just trudge along, and I kind of have a little bit of impact to my footfalls. Just kind of
as you step, you just stomping out, and you push open the door to the outside in the streets, where Beavis you are. So Beavis, how about you describe yourself?
Right. So amongst these tall folk. Anyways, Beavis is a 2-foot tall little Owlin person, walking through the crowd. They have large yellow eyes, again 2 feet tall, weigh 25 pounds. Beavis has goggles on her forehead to protect her eyes from the guns that are on her back. She also has an assortment of cozy knit sweaters tied around her waist, and a dog following. Not a dog. Oh my god, I'm in dog mode. A cat following behind her, but not too close behind. She also has a tiny cowboy hat.
Yeah. So as you're just waiting outside, your cat is just right now. You can see there seems to be like a rat that was like in a little mouse hole in the side of the blacksmith shop, and is just batting at it, just trying to reach into the hole, and is just swiping at it, and it's getting really riled up.
Am I near my cat? Like next to my cat? I'm gonna try and go after the rat as well.
You
Pulls out a
go.
gun.
Just put the gun in the mouse hole.
Challenge accepted.
No, but you go over and you see the rat just seems to be hiding in the hole. It doesn't seem to have anywhere else to go, and the cat's just swatting at it and getting super riled up. And then you come over, and it sort of just goes over to you and starts kind of getting up on you, trying to go for scrooches. And it's also just kind of pawing at you.
Oh, it's my snack. I'm gonna try to reach in the hole and ignore my cat.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Can you?
Oh my bad.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, house. 17.
Oh, that's fine.
Yay! That's 22. Can you hear me?
You reach your hand in there and you start like waving it around, and eventually you feel a tail and you grab it and you actually get a hold, and you hear just like scared screeching, like squeaking, and you you can pull it out. You have it by the tail. You've got it.
I'm gonna pick it up and hold it above my mouth like I'm about to eat it, and then look down at my cat.
Yeah, you pull it out and you're holding it up, and the cat's like trying to climb you to bat at it as you're holding it up in the air.
Said this was a rat, not a mouse, right?
It is big. It's a rat. It's not a mouse. It's big. Like you had to tug a bit to get it out of that.
Looking at my cat, holding it in front of my face. Fine. Throw it off to my cat.
You put it down, and the cat begins to just fight with the rat first. Are you? See, everyone around you is looking at this, just like absolutely awestruck. It looks like you're having an animal fight in the middle of the street.
I got 5 gold on the cat.
And your cat does end up coming out on top, as it is now just clawing at this now dead rat and is kind of just playing with it. It's not even eating it or anything. It's just playing with it.
My cat doesn't have a name. My cat's name is Cat. My cat's
Cat the
kind of
cat.
a bullshit head. I'm gonna pick up Cat by her scruff. I don't know.
My cat.
I know, right? And kind of carry her along with me. Like, not lifting her off the ground, but kind of like as if it were a lead. Be like, come on, take your food.
And as you do, you're pulling the rat away, and Brom steps out. And Brom, you see this little ordeal, and people are looking around, and some people are just like staring at the pair of you now, just because of this little scene that seems to be taking place.
I pick up the rat and throw it as far as I can.
Like where? Like
extremely tempted to
across
fly
the
after
street,
it.
or like into an
Extremely
I
alley?
step out and immediately I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like
And then I
on a
see you, like,
seat,
this little
on a
cat
roof,
fighting, I'm
or like.
Just pick up the rat, just like it's inside of my hand, probably crushing it, and I'm just like,
Cat's gone.
You pick it up,
Like,
and
the rat,
Beavis,
not the cat.
Beavis,
No,
you
rat's
hear a
fine.
little like crunch, and there's a bit of a dribble down Brom's hand as he throws it, and there's just a trail of dribbling red as he just fucking football tosses this rat just onto a ceiling nearby, or on the roof nearby.
I kind of like shake my head and I like see that there's blood on my hand, and I just kind of like open up the inside of my cloak and just. And just
Yeah, you wipe
then
it
I-
off.
I'm gonna sneak her.
I'm like, I turn to Beavis and I go, come on, let's go. And then I kind of incline myself down a little bit, and
I'm hopping up on your shoulders, but I'm also taking a second to sniff your cloak.
why?
Because you just wiped blood inside.
Like our necklace?
Blood.
All right.
Oh, and
So-
as you do that to me, I'm gonna in turn like a nesting doll. I don't know if that's the right analogy. Lean over to
and
my lean over
Oh.
to my cat, and so the cat goes on my shoulders. I go on your shoulders.
As soon as she's on my shoulder, I just walk to the nearest person and I'm like, "Hey, do you know if there's another blacksmith shop nearby?"
All right. Yeah, and so as you ask this person, you keep inquiring for a blacksmith shop. Leotorin, could you describe your character?
Hi, my name is Leotorin. I am a half-elf, half-human. I am about average size for a human, so I'm about 5'7", 5'8". And I have light armor on, and if you could get a good look in my ear, you can see that obviously a huge chunk of it is missing, as it looks like someone ripped the tip of my elf ears, or my elven ears, to make it more round. But it's very sloppy. It's a sloppy job. And so I'm just kind of walking with like a swagger to myself, like I own the place, essentially.
Right. And as you're walking through the center of Flamekeep, you go around, and you've been looking around a little bit for potentially a score, and you see someone who looks like probably a member of the Church of the Silver Flame, with a sizable coin purse, but then also you can tell probably some decent jewelry on them, just walking a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah, so I walk up to them and I tap them on the shoulder. I'm like, "Excuse me, could you point me towards the nearest blacksmith?" And so they kind of point off into a direction, and as they're pointing off, I kind of reach my hand behind them and pocket their jewelry off the hand that they're not pointing with.
All right. So yeah, you see they have a little bracelet and a ring. What do you want to try going for?
I think I'm gonna go for the ring.
Oh. All right, go. Make a sleight of hand check. Let us sleight of hand checks. Yeah, just.
What is it? +4?
Yes.
19.
All right. You see, you ask them. They say, "Oh, there's actually a blacksmith shop that way." And you see, you get up like pretty close to them, almost a little uncomfortably for them, but you lean up and you their other hand is down, and you just with your fingers just grab what seems to be like a wedding band or an engagement ring or something like that, and just slide it down the finger. It seemed to be a little loose. So you just easily just slid it off and just pocket that.
And so I thank them for the directions, and I walk in the complete opposite direction.
You see they're pointing that way, and before they can even finish talking, they turn around and you're walking back where you came from, and they're just, all right. And they just sort of walk away like a little confused, but they don't seem to have noticed. So you continue walking until eventually you're in some kind of open bazaar. The first thing you see, there's a big cart full of apples. There's a handful of people just walking around. You see there's a man on the side of next to a building asking around for coin. What are you gonna do?
So I see this apple vendor, right? And I kick a rock into a pile of crates that's right next to the apple vendor. The crates seem to have like a bunch of like oranges or some other type of fruit, and it all comes crashing to the ground, and the vendor freaks out and has to go scramble it. So I go and reach for like an apple off the cart.
All right, so make another. I'd say, yeah, make another sleight of hand check just to like see how well the rock kicking and the theft goes.
19 again.
+4.
+4. So you just walking as part of your gait, just kick a rock while just stepping. Like the cadence of your
menace.
steps does not change, and it hits the back of a crate, and you see one orange just tumbles forward and knocks over, like almost like a waterfall, just knocking down a bunch of their fruits, and you hear the vendor
Hey,
just.
your sleight of hand is a +8, by the way.
Oh, damn.
Oh, shit.
+8.
So yeah, that's why this works. So the vendor just goes, "Goddamn rats," and like goes down and just goes to pick up the oranges, and you just walk by and take an apple and just start eating. The second apple taken from this man today, and you hear people just all around you, excited. They seem to be talking about some big event in town today. Ara, you actually see the same cart you were walking back to buy another apple from. You see they drop a bunch of their oranges fell, the guy's picking them up, and you see some guy take an apple just like you did and walk off. Leotorin, you hear a bunch of people just talking about this Vanguard, how there seems to be some big event going on today where they're showing off like some of their new members, how people are kind of almost they're just really excited for this. Like the Vanguard has done a lot of good for Flamekeep up until this point.
Right. So I hear this and I think to myself, this seems like a great opportunity to alert the authorities of the potential elven attack that may be happening at some point in the near future. So I decide to walk up to these gentlemen and ask them for a little bit more information.
Alright, so you go up and you begin to ask about the Vanguard, and they begin to tell you about how they're a humanitarian organization and all this. And during this conversation, you're talking with them, Beavis and Brom. You guys are walking over to another blacksmith, and at the same time, the four of you all hear off in the distance in the direction of what seems to be a very big, almost Coliseum stadium style building. You hear just explosions and then screams, and you see almost flashes of light, like a big ball of fire. You see electricity, just like almost like a horizontal lightning bolt just striking somewhere. And immediately people just around you all seem to gasp just hearing this. And immediately people start almost rushing to finish up whatever they're doing and start trying to head inside. And you watch, you can barely see over the edges of the stadium some kind of flying, almost bat-like creatures. The screaming begins to get louder, and people are now beginning to panic, and you see guards around you are starting to rush towards the stadium. They're starting to tell people, just go back inside, we're not sure what's happening, like just everyone try not to panic, but get inside and be safe. So yeah, how are you guys reacting to this?
So Brom sees, like, you said there was smoke coming from the Coliseum?
Yeah, there's now a column of smoke coming up from the Coliseum.
How far away is the flying creature in the air? Is it above the Coliseum?
There are a lot. It's like a flock of small flying creatures. It's not like a dragon-sized creature, right? You just see small.
Are they directly above us, or are they like in the distance?
They're off in the distance. You just see them over the stadium.
Okay. So I turn to Beavis and I'm like, you want to practice the move we practiced? Okay, I grab her and throw her straight up in the air. Tell me what you see!
So you, just like with the same hand you threw the rat, and you immediately feel the blood all over your feathers, Beavis. He chucks you straight up into. Oh yeah, but there's still some of it. It doesn't all perfectly come off, buddy.
Licking my feathers.
You just throw her off into the air. Beavis,
am I calculating how far I throw her?
Sure. Make an athletics check, I'll say.
One.
Nice, nice.
1.
It's not that good. That is 15 total.
Still a decent bit. She goes flying up into the air. Beavis, you get a bit of air time, and are you just looking? Or are you like scoping in with one of your rifles? What are you thinking?
Can I take my sawed-off shotgun, which I was preparing? I wanted to take off my spine as soon as I knew that the thing was there.
You just shoot it
He
everywhere.
throws me, and I go boom, and then fall back down to his shoulders.
You're gonna shoot up into the.
Wait, I almost.
Wait. Are you gonna shoot? Are you gonna shoot?
Wait.
Are you gonna shoot down or up? Like, which direction are you
I
shooting?
don't know what he was doing in the first place.
Just ignore that. I forgot.
She's
I
just
keep forgetting that my
playing.
wings are my
She's just
arms.
like,
so
wee,
if I'm
boo.
shooting with them, I can't be flying. I'm just looking.
Alright, make a perception check.
3
Plus, and you get really high perception.
plus 6.
Oh, you actually do.
Well,
9.
since it's the first time you guys have done this move, you fly up and you just spin and you manage to reorient yourself to be able to look, but at that point you're already on your way back down. So you don't get too much. You don't see too much more than you would have seen from the ground.
I am a size larger than her. I would have gotten an advantage, right? For the roll one tier. We can change this.
You cannot change this. You can't.
No! It's already been set!
Oliver, you
Well,
see
no,
me?
advantage is just, it's not a reroll, remember?
Brom sees
Yeah,
me
it's
fall and then
actually-
picks me up with one hand and throws me again. Okay, no more.
So she lands. I'm like, what do you see?
Chaos. Nothing but chaos. Never again. Don't do that ever again.
I throw her. No, that's right.
Alright,
Couple
Ara and
feathers.
Leotorin, the two of you, not together, but both in the bazaar. What are you guys doing? So as these people are explaining to you the Vanguard, Leotorin, you see immediately they start seeing the smoke and the explosions and the guards, and they say, "Look, I'm sorry, but we need to get going. There seems to be some kind of disturbance," and they just start heading back in whatever direction. You assume they're probably going back home. Ara, the food vendor who's picking up his oranges, is now trying to rush to pick them up even quicker, and is seemingly trying to close up his little fruit stand. So what are you guys doing?
So, what I do is immediately upon hearing the noise, I'm like dead still, like I'm unaffected by it, but I kind of like look over in the direction and casually say I'm like, oh man, guess my work's not done. So I take another bite out of the apple, walk back over to the apple vendor, and I place it on the table and along with a coin to pay for it. And I'm like, hey, you should probably get out of here. This isn't gonna look good.
Alright. And Ara, what are you doing? So he sees that you already have a half-eaten apple, and he just looks confused, but he's starting to pack up his stuff. Just says thank you very quickly. Ara, what are you doing?
So just before
Yeah, and you see this
Leotorin.
happen, right? Oh yeah.
just before Leotorin walked up to the apple vendor, I kind of like rush over to the apples, and I'm like, sir, if I help you pick up all these apples, can I have 3 to buy?
He looks up at you and he says, sure, please, just I need to get out of here. And at this point, Leotorin comes up, puts down the apple, and drops a coin, and you're like, oh, he just buyed.
Yeah, I was like, oh, sir, or no, I don't know what men are. You to buy the apple. You didn't earlier, but now you did. Why was that? Can I do that too?
The apple vendor looks over to you and says, wait, he didn't buy the apple? What do you mean earlier? Did he?
Before the explosion happened,
Oh wow, geez, it sure seems like there's a lot of commotion. I think we should get out of here.
What
Why
do you
don't
mean?
you come with me? That sounds like a good idea.
And you just start like pulling her off. Which direction are you guys heading? Are you going towards the stadium, away from it? Like what's your
I'm
general direction?
Yeah, where are you pulling me?
I'm going towards the direction of the sound.
All right. So you start heading off towards the stadium. What about the two of you, Beavis and Brom?
Oh,
So
by the way, wait. I had the cat on my shoulders when he threw me.
The cat.
Ow.
That's part of the reason why you couldn't see anything, because the cat just dug its claws into you and
This is why the cat hates me.
was just
It's covered-
yowling. Yeah, you and this
covering
cat
her
are not
eyes.
necessarily friends. It just follows you because you feed it.
So everyone starting to panic and like kind of run around?
People are running.
Okay. I am gonna head back to the blacksmith that I was just at.
All of y'all are
Alright.
thieves.
You shut up, narc.
All right. So you head back to the blacksmith, and
I'm not approaching directly. Like I'm kind of like being casual about it and like kind of walking past. But is he still at his workstation? Do I see him?
You see, he seems to be packing up, or trying to at least.
Okay.
I'm pecking at the back of your head.
What?
I'm pecking at the back of your head.
What do you want?
I want to call an explosion. I want to shoot my gun. That's falling at my head.
I look at the plate armor and I see that the blacksmith is obviously not distracted.
Yeah, you see, he's trying to he's trying to pack up, and he sees you come back in, and he says, "Look, if you need to take shelter in here, what's going on?"
There was an explosion. Did you see anything when I threw you up?
Chaos.
Chaos.
Everything. There were lights flashing.
Lights
and
flashing.
There were these green things
Green things.
all
Green
over the
things
place. Beavis, thing, man. Beavis knows. Beavis knows.
The guy just says, "All right, if you can open the door, let anybody who needs to come in. We can bunker down here if you need to."
Okay. And
I'm flying down and I'm petting the cat. The cat's like, "Oh!"
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright, so I stand by the door and I start going, guys, come in the shop. And I look over at the plate armor and it's still outside, right? Or not plate armor, but like the whatever
Yeah,
I bonked earlier.
He hasn't put anything away. He seems to have been. It almost looked like he was probably going to close up the shop, but now seeing you come in has changed to like, actually, I'm going to let some people in here. That seems like a better idea.
I'm gonna look at Brom, look at the plate armor, look at Brom, look at the plate armor, look at my cat, look at the guy, walk up to the guy. Yo, do you have any biscuits or something? Because my cat's really angry right now. My cat's like, "Rah!" and I'm like, he's really angry right now. Can you help? And as I'm saying that, I'm gonna pinch my cat's tail so that they go ape shit all over this dude.
Make an animal handling check.
Yeah, but like if I do worse, isn't that better?
Make an animal handling check.
Fine.
Oh, yeah, I actually see.
Click on the button. That's 4. 15.
15. The cat starts to freak out. It doesn't necessarily go after him, but it just generally starts to freak out around you guys. And he says, I should have some food if you need it. And
We
just
have a problem.
immediately the cat starts going
Why
wild.
reenactment?
The cat starts going wild, and he tries helping you, like, catch it. So, Brom, you do see the guy seems to get distracted, at least.
Alright, while I'm going, come in, I like
Yeah,
kinda
and
walk
people
over.
are starting to file
Oh
in.
no.
Hey, 1 second.
No.
Please, no, come here, please. That's the worst spot you could have gone to. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I kind of like walked closer to the armor, and I'm like, guys, come on, in here. like shelter. Ooh, ooh. I see the commotion. He's getting distracted by the cat, and I kind of open up my coat, unzip my pretty big backpack, and just kind of like and just dump it in there, and then
Make a sleight of hand check. Fucking all of your thieves.
9 plus. It's a good one, but that's Eliza's. 9 plus. I think it's 2. 1, 10.
You would figure out.
You start like you go to like throw it in, but it's on an armor rack, and you have to like pick it up piece by piece, and the guy sees you now just blatantly stealing this armor, and he like stops.
I haven't gotten it in my backpack yet.
Yeah, you haven't gotten it in yet, but he sees you trying to take it, and he says, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he stops focusing on the cat.
Wait, one sec.
I whistle.
I'm going. It's metal. I'm gonna put it in front of the door after when we get inside, kind of like a barricade.
I whistle, cueing the cat to go ape shit.
Make a deception check.
I whistle.
The cat is already going crazy.
I whistle to make it worse.
That's even worse. 7 plus. That's Eliza's. 7 plus. Oh, I have a decent deception. 7 plus 3. 10.
He
Again.
doesn't. He does not believe you. You can. He's just charging over towards you.
I sigh. I'm like, oh, okay. So I was just scared. I wanted to protect myself. Like I'm barely wearing anything.
I take off my sock off.
Are you lying or are you telling the truth? Make a deception or persuasion check.
I'll go persuasion. I think my persuasion's high.
That's at disadvantage.
Okay.
I take out my sock off.
No.
I take out my
persuasion. Persuasion. If
you -2 plus. Wait.
What?
That's a natural 1 -2.
He doesn't count.
Plus,
It's just natural 1.
1 sec. There's math involved, Eliza.
There's
It's a
not.
natural 1.
Natural 1 is natural 1.
-2, so -1 plus 4. 3.
It's natural 1.
He's just charging towards you, and at this point, he seems to have some kind of forge hammer in his hand.
I take out my sawed-off shotgun and shoot the. I'm kidding.
I see her make the movement.
I'm kidding.
I see her make the movement, and I just grab Beavis and I just
Run outside.
start walking away really quickly.
So as people are shuffling inside, you just push your way out. As Beavis, you grab your cat, and then Brom grabs you, and then all of you together just start running.
I grab the
And the
cat
entire time I'm
myself.
like, sorry.
Once you're outside, are you running in the direction of the commotion or away from it?
I figured that is going to be the exact opposite way that the blacksmith is going, so I go that way, towards the
Alright.
commotion.
So at this point, all of you are just charging towards this commotion. And you actually see, you guys all run down the street towards the big stadium. And you actually see seems to be a figure that, almost like a humanoid figure, flying up out of the stadium and just swoop down towards the street level.
Captain Beavis.
And you see there's a group of people following them, like on foot, and you see them fly just straight down the road past you guys, just blasting spells towards passerbys on the street. At this point, your two groups are on opposite sides of the same street, moving towards the Colosseum. And you see this feline humanoid figure start blasting spells, and you see a group of 5 people chasing after them, also shooting spells at the feline creature and trying to help out with the passerbys as much as possible, and they just zip past you guys. You guys are you guys just continuing to go down the same path towards the
They're
stadium?
going past us, right?
Yeah, they're going like anti-parallel to you guys. So you're
Yeah,
going
like we're on the sidewalk and they're on the street and they're going down the street, right?
Yeah.
Is that how you describe it? Okay. So I like when the thingy, like the thing that doesn't look human passes me, I kind of like stick my foot out.
It's
See if I can
flying.
grip it. It's what?
It's
It's
flying.
flying? Oh, my bad. Okay.
It
never
is
mind.
flying, and you see it is using magic that is way beyond anything you've ever seen. It is instantly destroying buildings.
I take out my
Oh,
sawed
nice.
off and I shoot.
Yeah,
it.
like you see, it opens up its palm, and you see a blast of frigid cold air and ice just go over a crowd of maybe a dozen people, freezing them instantly. You watch people that were running freeze solid and fall over and shatter. And you see this building get completely frozen over as if it had been an entire winter and the snow had never been cleared. And it's just completely frozen.
Is there like an alleyway near me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I grab Beavis and literally any other human that's near me and kind of like whoop, and jump into the alley.
I bite him. Get away. Try to.
What about...
saving throw. 4. Anyways, so I take out...
What about the two of you, Ara and Leotorin? You guys see this as well. You're on the same street. They haven't passed you guys yet, but they're on the way, and the feline humanoid that's flying seems to be indiscriminately firing at civilians. And you see this large humanoid figure just bolt with people into the alleyway.
How far away is the alleyway?
Oh, it's just across the street. You may be 20 feet max.
Okay. Me personally, I'm still like, where are we going? Did you not see that thing fly into the alleyway?
Yeah, it seems like it was trying to avoid that giant thing that just froze everything. So why don't we head in the same direction? Because that seems like a good idea.
Wait, hold on.
It hasn't passed by yet. It's coming. The flying creature is coming towards you guys. So you have this brief window before it gets next by you guys to get in the alley. So it hasn't passed you yet, but it's up ahead and you see it coming in your direction.
The alleyway? But that thing is shooting at people. You know what? I'm gonna take my bow off my back. I'm just going to shoot at it.
Do you have a death wish?
So I take one of my quivers, a bow out of my quivers. I draw back my string, and I release an arrow at the flying creature.
Make an attack roll.
Oh God, what? That's I forget.
Attack roll?
Yes.
You go to core, I think.
Mm-hmm. This is not like the dungeon. I can't find it. Attack. What is my attack? Or what?
It should just be, if you go to inventory, then your short bow should be there.
Oh, okay.
Click on the image.
Yep, and then it should be in chat there.
There we go. And roll an attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, yeah. You blast off an arrow, and you see the feline creature is flying, and it seems to now be in combat with the creatures behind it, like chasing after it. And you see the arrow flies towards it, but before the arrow hits it, you see it turns, and just a wall, almost like a magical barricade, forms around it, and the arrow just breaks in air. And then looking at you, it sees you where the arrow came from, and it almost, you see it raises its hand over its shoulder and just snaps, and you watch as a orange orb of flame flies directly towards you. But you see one of the humanoids on the street chasing after it opens their hand and throws out what seems to be this small blue ball that seems to capture the orange orb and then just dissipate it in air. As you see, at that point they fly past you, but it seems like some kind of spell that would have probably immediately killed you was just negated by whoever these people are chasing after this feline creature flying through the air. And what's it called? Beavis and Brom, you guys would have seen this as just quickly the people just the feline humanoid flies past, and then you see a group of like 5 people chasing after it on foot, full sprint, and you see that quick brief encounter of just the orb and the dissipation happen in the middle of the street.
Do I see her shoot her, or do I see someone shoot
Yeah,
their
you
arrow?
see her stop and shoot an arrow, and then you watch like the orb get dissipated and the people fly by.
Now, what, is she across the street still, or is she?
She's across the street still.
I kind of shout out, I'm like, take cover!
Beavis sees the magic happening.
Yeah, so
And,
alright, you hear them shouting out towards you.
Oh, can you hear me? I don't know if the green's lighting up. But Beavis sees the magic happening, tilts down her cowboy hat, pulls out her shot
And
off.
just puts it in her mouth and goes,
The fuck? And then starts trying to step out of the alleyway and says, I'll put an end to this magic witchcraft.
What are you doing? Stop looking at me and laughing.
She was looking at
What are
you
you
to
doing?
try to stop her.
I reach out and grab her again and pull her
And
in.
I'm like, hold me back! Hold me back!
So Ara and Leotorin, the two of you are shouted at to take cover, and you actually see down the road, now at this point, much further away, there seems to be another feline humanoid, this one on, like, ground level, running on the street with another group of, like, 5 people chasing after them. And this one also seems to, while not blasting magic, seems to have this dark black, almost shadowy blade that they seem to be swinging at people that they're passing by and is just ripping them into pieces.
All right, so I carefully examine the surrounding buildings. Is there any like rooftops nearby?
None that you think you could get to. The closest bit of cover you think you could. Are you looking for like cover to get away from this?
Well, like from inside, like if there's like a rooftop that is accessible from going inside a building.
Potentially, but not that you're aware of. Like you could guess and try entering a building and see if you could get into the ceiling, but it'd be like if you were standing in the middle of any city and just like trying to get onto a rooftop. Like you would just be guessing at that point. Right.
All right, so basically I look over at Ara who just shot the arrow and I'm like, well, it looks like backup's here. Maybe you shouldn't be so reckless next time. Let's get to cover. And so I start sprinting towards the alleyway that we were originally going towards.
Alright, so you guys continue across the street. At this point, you end up grouping up with another just large group of civilians, and then this strange, very tall humanoid that is holding back this small owl creature. It seems to have some strange mechanical piece in their hands. And as you guys end up getting into the alleyway, you hear behind you, running by the feline humanoid creature. You now see it up close. The second one you saw much further away has now caught up. Seems to be boisterously laughing, just very deep. You see fur completely black with what looks to be orange stripes of fur, except it's not fur. It is just orange flame throughout its body, and it seems to be with this shadowy blade just cutting through people who are on the side of the street. And the blade, you see, they actually swing towards you guys, and the blade extends but is just short enough to not reach into the alleyway as you guys run into it. And they just keep running as they're also being followed by another group of people. And so what, as a whole group, what are you guys doing now?
I have my rifle, right? And I'm like, hold me back. And he's like, whoosh. And I'm like, never mind. And I'm going to turn around with my rifle and try and
I already
behind
pulled you
him.
in.
Oh, I didn't think you fully pulled. I thought it was like a tug of war
It
situation.
literally was me going, like,
Okay, but you're not that strong, right? You're only like 5 billion feet tall, and I'm only like 2 negative feet tall.
Okay, well, anyways,
so
what
I
we're
think not a
doing,
fair fight.
what I'm doing is I kind of peek out after he rushes past and see the absolute slaughter, and if there's like anyone still standing at all, I'm just gonna try and pull him and direct him into the alley.
Yeah, so you see at this point, you don't see any immediate threat looking out into the street, but there are definitely a lot of injured people just out in the street now, down this
I'm
main
gonna run back to the
road.
blacksmith.
You're gonna run back to the blacksmith?
No.
There's other people. You need help. Go there.
Alright, Leotorin and R, are you guys following suit? You see these two people Are you also going, Beavis, or are you just...
Yeah, I'm following him.
Okay,
My
so yeah.
cat is.
Are you following suit, or are you just staying in the alleyway?
Are we right next to?
Yeah, you're
Ron,
at this
this
point. You're
one?
right next to Brom and Beavis.
I see Brom kind of dragging just a couple of injured people, and I kind of put my hand out, and I say to Brom, "Let me help. Let me help. I know a couple of healing things, or I can heal people." So I take my ocarina.
We'll do what you can.
I take my ocarina and I hold it up to my lips, and I play the worst sound you have ever heard from a musical instrument. And that's basically like try to heal like a couple people on the ground.
All right.
I look at her and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Leotorin, what about you? Are you helping to drag people in, or are you just staying in the alleyway?
So
I'm fucking looting all. It's like, that's
Um,
my coin purse. My coin.
He's like, they're dead. They don't need this anymore.
I'm not dead yet.
So I look over, I hear her god awful ocarina playing, and I'm like, God, that's the worst elven music I've ever heard. So then I look over at Brom and I'm like, hey, big guy, do you think that you can maybe throw me towards one of those flying creatures?
I kind of look at the flying
at this
creatures
point,
that are like,
the flying creatures, they're all staying around the stadium, it seems.
Oh, okay.
I'm strong.
So you guys are still
not that
blocks
strong.
away from the
I
stadium.
glare at Leotorin. That's our thing.
Okay, so instead of that,
quiet.
Go flying.
You're cheating on me.
I just start helping out, pulling people in, but I'm a little bit like not as careful with it. I'm just kind of yanking people by the collar.
Oh,
All right.
Get the collar.
All right, yeah, and at this point, you hear people talking about how this event had gone so terribly, how something went wrong, there was some kind of attack, maybe fiends, demons, devils. They attacked the city of Flamekeep, this holy city, holy to the Church of the Silver Flame, and you guys can almost set up this little triage center where you're kind of pulling people into the alleyway. Everyone's trying to help take care of each other. And over the course of the next couple of hours, you continue to hear fighting. You continue to hear screaming. You continue to hear and see panic. You guys deal with some of the worst that has happened outside of the stadium. And you guys end up getting this group together, just trying to help as many people as you can. And over this time, eventually, the screaming subsides, at least to a level where you can tell something's changed, or at least things have died down. It's to some capacity. There's still smoke. There are pillars of smoke all around now. Parts of the city seem to have gone up in flames. But all of you seem to have done a decent bit of good. And you're hearing people talking about what's going on. People are spreading rumors. Guards come by and tell people just to start going back to their homes. Eventually, a group of Silver Flame church members come by and just tell you guys all to go to the nearest inn and just to stay there, and that they can take over the healing and care of all these people, and that you guys just need to go and get to safety in case anything else happens.
So we're all going to the inn, right? What's an Where would I find an inn?
The place you sleep at.
Yeah, and you see, one
To
of
sleepers
the
you stay under the stars, correct?
Aren't you always sleeping under the stars?
Technicalities, yes, but I meant like on the grass, like out in nature. Like, didn't
Aren't
you
always
used
sleeping
to?
under there?
one of the
So-
one of the Church of the Silver Flame people just tell you, just go to the nearest House Galanda Inn, one of the Golden Dragon Inns. It's just head over. I'm sure they'll be offering their services for free. Just go over and take cover, all of you.
Where's that?
You can find one damn near every street corner. You'll see it. Its roof is a giant, almost art piece of gold, a golden dragon. You'll see it. And you see a handful of people in the crowd who are also helping take care of people say, "Yeah, we know where that is. Like, I actually work at one of them. Here, I can lead everybody." And you see your group starts making their way out into the street towards wherever this inn is.
Following. I'm gonna fly and hold my cat in my claws.
Yeah, at this point, the cat is super panicked and is just very puffy-tailed, very wide-eyed, but
Oh, fine.
it is scared enough to just be reserved enough for you to pick it up and pull it with you.
I'm gonna take some rations, chew them up in my mouth, and then spit them into the cat's mouth.
You chew the rations up and
Oh,
spit
bird.
them. The cat does not open its mouth, and you just spit on the cat's face, and it's now clawing at your legs. It went from scared and almost friendly, out of fear, back to angry, and it's clawing at you.
I'm just gonna say you are great French, and then keep flying.
All right, you guys all
Where you guys are going? I'm following you guys. I'm just flying above.
make your way back to a House Galanda Inn. And at this point, they seem to be offering free drinks. People are being set up in rooms. Like, people are getting free food. Like, there seem to be injured people and just generally scared and panicked people inside of the inns. Just all around, people trying to help each other as much as they can.
I'll give my cat
And
some bacon. as
over
you
the
know.
over the course of the rest of the day, it is just an air of fear and almost like it almost feels like like the town is at war almost, and people are just terrified. But this was just your first day in Flamekeep. And yes,
Is there a town? Is there an innkeeper?
yes,
A person of authority? Is there a person of authority?
yes.
I want to approach said person
Go
and
ahead.
ask them if they know what's going on.
I sort of say to you, there's been some sort of attack. We don't necessarily know the nature of it, but our services are free for the day.
What does free mean?
Free means that you don't have to pay for it, or you don't have to buy.
Oh, so like you did. Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
That's something that maybe I'll tell you about in private.
So,
I give R a weird stare, and then turn to the innkeeper, and I'm like, "Are there rooms?"
there are, but they're currently all full. You can take a corner here in the open tavern.
Wait, they're full?
Yeah, people have gone up. They're being used as almost hospital rooms right now.
Is there anywhere else I can sleep for the night?
I'm sure some of them will clear up, but for now we're setting out blankets and bedding for people here in the main room.
Can I get a room in the stables?
If you'd like.
I slam my fist on the counter and I'm like, the real question is, are the drinks free tonight?
Yes, I suppose they are.
I'm gonna ask Runekeeper?
Yes,
The
free.
innkeeper? I'm gonna ask the innkeeper where the blankets are.
They're being
Where
pulled
the
out. They're just
blankets?
being handed out in the main room.
I'm gonna run up and take one in my beak with my cat on my shoulders, and then find an empty corner of the tavern. I'm actually gonna take a bunch of blankets, as many as I can hold, run over and make a little nest, and put me and my
You're not
cat in
sleeping
it.
with me in the...
Piss off! You threw me today, and I wasn't ready. And I'm gonna make a little nest in the corner with all my blankies, and chirp up in my little cat, who does not like me right now. And I also have some bacon that I was chewing on, and I try and pop it up for them, for my cute cat, and then lay down.
Alright, so you all sort of settle in. Leotorin and Ara with the free drinks and the explanation of what free and buy are. Brom, you find a nice place in the stables. You find an empty stable next to some very, very frightened horses.
Just big enough to support me, and I kind of...
You can pull up my nest.
I kind of just walk into this after getting an earful from Beavis. She didn't like that I threw her. I kind of like silently leave the inn, not grabbing any food, any drink. I kind of trudge to behind the inn, where next to the inn, wherever the stables are, and I walk in, find something that can fit me, and I kind of just go into like a corner of it and just sit there.
All right.
And I kind of grow a little bit more still than usual, and so I'm just literally just a statue.
All right.
And I just stand there.
And Beavis, you finish setting up your nest with your cat. It does end up eating some of your thrown up bacon, reluctantly.
Yeah.
But
It loves me.
Over the course of your first day in Flamekeep, things do eventually die down. You guys do end up spending the night in the House Galanda Gold Dragon Inn. And eventually, over the next couple of days, you guys begin to hear more about what happened. There seemed to be some kind of attack from almost a demonic incursion that seemed to be targeting the Vanguard. It seems that all of the Vanguard's second generation squadrons had been murdered in this attack. And people are very, very upset about it, because these people were in their teens, right? So a lot of people lost their children, a lot of people lost their friends, and so there seems to be a lot of people seem to be almost very angry with or losing faith in the Vanguard. But over this time, the four of you, for your own reasons, end up joining the Vanguard. And not but a few weeks later, after some training, after getting to know each other a bit, not too much,
No.
you do end up, there seems to be some level of peace, and all of you do eventually begin to get your first Vanguard assignment. But before then, what would you guys say you do over the next couple of days and even weeks leading up to this first Vanguard assignment after the attack?
I specifically request Beavis to steal that breastplate from the blacksmith.
I can't fly. I don't have something.
You
in
got
my
good sleight of
hands.
hand, though.
How about I steal it and give it to you?
Exactly.
But in the keep, so I don't have to fly out with it.
Hey, just give me a breastplate somehow. Please.
I'm just gonna get him a plate that looks like a booth.
Okay. Never mind. I don't even do that. Never mind.
Well, I would say
get a
if you
flat-
don't mind, you could probably end up looting something off of a corpse of like a guard.
That's not my intention. Never mind. I don't. A breastplate's too complicated. I look for like a flat, just almost like I think metal would be too complicated. I just look for a flat piece of wood, kind of like just a plank, and then I just very intricately carve a bunch of roots and patterns into it using my I think it's calligraphy tools I have.
Yeah.
And just make it look beautiful, pristine as I can. And then I approach the blacksmith again, and I made some kind of thing to hang on his wall that looks really nice. And I kind of apologize and give it to him.
All right.
I wanted to steal the breastplate and do it to his breastplate and give it back, but then I realized.
Beavis, what would you, what would you say you do over these next couple of weeks?
I try and find myself a place to cook. Potentially in the kitchen of the inn.
Well, there is a place in the Vanguard headquarters which you guys do end up moving into eventually.
Okay. Then in there, I'm cooking. I'm making a lot of food for my cat and myself, and for my new friends. Yeah, I'd also set out on hunts to find any mice and rats that live in our headquarters.
All right. Leotorin, what would you say you do over the next couple of weeks?
So when I'm not busy repairing the damage to the buildings that I'm also looting those buildings, taking whatever I can find that's useful, maybe some money here and there.
I would say message me on Discord that you're doing that, and I'll get back to you later with what you find.
No, okay. And then also, is there like a hierarchy? Like, is there like someone who's higher up in the Vanguard?
Absolutely. You're not sure that you can talk to, but there are the squadron members, at least because there are multiple parts to the Vanguard. In the more like adventuring focused section, there are like the squadron members, then the teachers, and then there is Arik, the leader. So you couldn't get an audience with Arik, but you could talk to the leaders pretty easily, like the teachers.
Yes, I'd like try to warn as many of them as possible that like I basically give them the whole backstory of where I came from and like
trauma dumping.
What my father might be planning. But they don't seem really interested. They're more intrigued by whatever threat leveled. Yeah. So I just get nowhere with that.
Yeah, a lot of them are like, thank you for the information, but right now we need to focus on this. But we will get back to this. But right now, like, our main priority is what's happening.
Yeah. So I just kind of give up on that and decide to take matters into my own hands. And Vanguard person, I don't know what I would call myself, but the decision that I will protect whoever I can from whatever. So recovering the buildings.
All right, sounds good. All right, so Ara, what would you say you're doing?
So I basically kind of joined the Vanguard because kind of got a little introduced, or sort of like what they do, like that whole like attack. Mm-hmm. And you know, I learned that they pay you, and mm-hmm. I very quickly that society is just very like, you have to pay to get services. So I kind of reluctantly joined the Vanguard, but also like it's my moral duty because back home I was used to healing people all the time, so might as well, you know, also continue to heal people and just help people in need. I am, however, getting a little restless because that is not why I'm here in
Flamekeep.
Flamekeep.
All right.
I'm just a little restless.
Well, all of you, after these few weeks of downtime, getting acquainted, doing a little training, joining the Vanguard, all for your own individual reasons, by happenstance, or maybe on purpose, you're not really sure. You all are put together into a Vanguard group. You hear that you are now the 3rd generation, along with another group known as the Vanguard's Perseverance, who joined around the same time as you guys. You're being rushed into service rather quickly. It's not necessarily a military organization, but you are training to fight, to go around and help, almost like fantastically, like heroes. And you all get put together in a group. You're commended for the work you did to help a lot of people, because word does get out. And you end up being told that you are going to go on your first mission. So, all of you get gathered up, and you are to be spoken to by Auric Vaminor himself, the leader of the Vanguard. And you see, eventually you guys are all shuffled into, or pushed into a room, and Auric ends up walking in. You see a humanoid creature, although not necessarily human or even close. They've got a scrunched, almost animal, like bestial looking face, pale red skin, wearing a silver cloak. There's almost, you feel a very commanding presence, almost a little intimidated from them just the minute they walk in. Like, you feel the authority, their authority, just over you. And it almost seems to get a little colder in the room as soon as they walk in as well. And they come over to all of you and they just say, "Welcome to the Vanguard. I know I have not personally met with all of you quite yet, but I have heard of you. I have accepted you into our ranks, and I believe it is time for you to go on your first actual mission. I know it seems very hastily done to be sending you on your first mission so early with such little training, but as the times are, we do not have much time to prepare as we would like. We're going to skip the tournament of the 3rd generation for very obvious reasons. People are still very sore about the passing of the 2nd generation. The Vanguard needs to reach out. We have just barely managed to get approval to run this 3rd generation. Part of the deal was that many of the families of Flamekeep gathered together resources in order to help you along your quest. And so you see he pulls out this basket and he says, I guess you've been gathered together a bit of a care package beyond what we would normally give you. You see he reaches out and he opens it up and begins to pull out these items. You see first he pulls out a small coin pouch that he puts down and sets in front of all of you. And then see he puts down one small vial with a red liquid inside of it that he puts down, and then three slightly bigger vials with this yellow, almost electric yellow liquid inside of it, and then this little bowl full of these tiny beads that you see. And he also pulls out a lantern and he says, all of these items should help you on your quest. These here is 80 gold to be split amongst your group. Spend it as you will on whatever resources you feel you might need. This vial is a healing potion, a minor one, but still more than you should hopefully need going forward. These 3 yellow vials are stamina potions. They are to help keep you energized and ready for whatever you may face, as well as these orbs of satiation. You eat these in order to fulfill your food needs for the day, and eat these in order to fulfill your drink needs for the day. These should keep you nice and healthy, if it ever comes to that you lack food or water for whatever reason. And finally, and most impressively, I believe, is this lantern. You see, he begins to explain what it does, and I will send this item card in the Discord so you guys can read it over. Yeah, I'm gonna send this in the Discord. Give me a second. Goddamn, my mouse is not working right now. There we go. Alright, yeah, so I'm sending it in media, so you guys can save that if you want. You can also decide who gets to keep it. But he says, it's a lantern of revealing. So your first mission, this could potentially be very useful. What your first mission is, it involves all of you traveling to Fairhaven, which, if you look at the map, is northwest of Flamekeep. A bit. It's in Ondare. It's over here. I'm pinging it. He says you are going to be traveling to Fairhaven. The Vanguard believes it would be very much in their interest to start a new branch in Ondare, and we have collectively chosen Fairhaven to be the location of our new headquarters. And you, the Atonement, are going to act almost as the poster child of this new branch. You have received some amount of training. You will head over. You will be the first Vanguard squadron to be trained and operate out of Fairhaven. And as part of this big move, there's going to be a rather sizable resource transport via lightning rail from Flamekeep to Fairhaven in order to set up our new headquarters. So, your mission objectives are as follows. Your primary objectives are to act as a good face for the Vanguard's new branch. You are to represent us. We don't expect any difficulty with this, I'd hope. Just don't get people mad at you. Also,
I won't steal any breastplates.
Also on this transport, and you see he looks at you and he says, Brom, I know about that situation, and luckily enough that blacksmith was gracious enough to not seek any actions towards you.
We were under attack. I gave him I gave him a
fine. It's been discussed to death. But on this resource transport, you are all to act as an undercover security detail on the lightning rail. It is not expected for anything to happen. This is more so a training exercise for all of you. You are to go. You are to blend in with the members of the of the train and keep an eye out. You are to report any occurrences or oddities during the resource transport. Anything you see. You are not necessarily obliged to stop anything if any attack or anything is supposed to happen, but just keep in mind, first and foremost, keep yourselves safe. Alright? Our cars on the train, our cars will be number 2, 3, and 4. All of those will be carrying the Vanguard's resources, all of our everything we need to send to Fairhaven in order to set up our headquarters. You will be given authorization and keys in order to travel between cars if necessary, and you will be stationed in the passenger car directly in front of the storage cars, as to put you as close to the storage cars as possible, while allowing you to still blend in and not have to ride directly with the cargo. Are there any questions?
Do you have any plate armor?
Some, as part of the resource transport. If
Can I bring my cat?
if the transport is to successfully arrive at Fairhaven and the headquarters is to be set up with your aid, it is possible that a suit of armor could be lent to you as part of your service to the Vanguard.
Cool.
Will my cat? It sounds like such a dumb question. I don't know.
What do I ask him?
It's all right.
Can you can offer him armor?
Are you gonna ask me armor for your cat?
Listen,
The
my
breastplate
cat
armor.
is a fine warrior. Ask the guy at the blacksmith place.
Oh,
He did.
If you're some sort of
wonderful.
if you're some sort of beast tamer, it is possible to make some sort of barding for your animal.
Now, beast tamer
You'll
is a
multiply
stretch,
that
but anyways,
later.
yeah, right. So about the armor thing.
We'll see what we can do once you get to Fairhaven.
Okay. Fine.
Leotorin
Whatever.
and Aura, any questions?
My cat dies, the blood's on his hand.
Sorry.
So, I think you're a little
One
quiet.
hand.
I don't think I can hear you.
Oh,
That's alright.
hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Alright, there you go. Yeah.
We did this mission. Yeah, it's gonna be done.
There's going to be food, right?
There will be food provided, yes. As part of the standard House Orion lightning rail transport.
And number 2, Rain.
And you see, he sort of chuckles and he says, "Oh, this will be a very interesting ride for you.
I like it.
I'm sure all of you can explain what it is to her, but if anything, I think it'll be more interesting if she just figures out on the ride." He says, "Well, unless there's anything else, all of you can prepare. Your train, the transport is. Oh yeah, yes."
I have one question. I point to Beavis and I'm like, "Is that the only messenger pigeon we have?"
You gotta fire back, man.
And he says,
Swinging.
Usually
Right?
we use the House Civis's magical magical messaging services as opposed
Brom
to
just starts laughing.
archaic messenger pigeons. But also,
Tip down my cowboy hat.
she is an owl.
I tip down my hat, take out my tiny handgun, and I'm like,
That's a feisty pigeon.
"Your mom is
You
a
just-
feisty pigeon."
You just kinda-
What you do such a
Ow!
You're such a bitch. Don't do that.
No.
Alright.
Ends it all.
So, he just says, well, unless there are any other concerns, you can talk to your Vanguard squadron leader, known as Director. And I would say prepare yourselves. Tomorrow, you will be leaving at dawn. So, split up the care packages items and prepare yourselves for the trip.
Which gold was it? Because then you cut out there.
So I'll send you guys the little... so I'll send a little screenshot of all the items, but here, this is all the loot you guys would have gotten. So it was 80 gold, 1 minor healing potion, 8 orbs of nourishment, 8 orbs of refreshment, 3 stamina potions, and a lantern of revealing.
That's not how that works.
You just fucking dibs on everything. Well, you heard it here, folks. So yeah, I'm gonna send the pictures for the other magical items, but you guys can split these up as you'd like, and let me know if there's any way you want to prepare for the coming adventure.
I
Need a breastplate.
shut up. Yeah, I don't think I have anything I need to do. I got my runes prepared.
Wait, how are you guys divvying up all these items?
Oh.
I want stamina potion. Orbs of refreshment. Orbs. What do the orbs look like?
I mean, there's 4 of us, so we can each get 20 gold pieces.
And then, it would make sense for me, Brom, and Leotorin to have the stamina potions, and then Ara to have the healing potions, and we each get 2 orbs of nourishment and 2 refreshment, and then 20 gold pieces.
I don't need any orbs of nourishment or refreshment.
And then
Actually, no.
Ara should have the lantern of revealing, or Brom.
I'll take the lantern.
What's the lantern do?
It tells you magical things.
It whispers in his ear, friend.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
No
so
one
if you
does.
look in the Discord, I'm sending these little cards that tell you what these items do.
Oh!
Like
Alright,
properties.
hold on. Wait, no.
You'll burn by this lantern.
Beavis likes the orbs. Beavis wants all the orbs. I keep poking them.
Wouldn't it make sense for one of you guys to take the healing potions? Because I already have healing. I already know how to heal.
I'll take the healing potion. I'm fine with that.
You don't need it.
Orb
I
of...
mean, I don't need it.
You're a robot. Don't you need gasoline?
That's racing.
I think Iron shouldn't get the healing potion.
Alright, actually it's ancestors. I'm gonna need you to calm down.
Iron Giant? Is that what your kind is called?
I'm still like, you can't even see me. I'm tall, but when chainmail cloak, bandana, chainmail coif,
I punch him so that you can hear the metal reverberance.
I kind of laugh. I'm like, yeah, really tough chainmail. The fuck.
It's making fun of me.
I didn't make fun of you.
I
What?
whisper in your ear and I'm like, you should take your rations of the orbs and then give them to me.
I think that
I'm very hungry because I'm super big. I just take what my share of the orbs of refreshment and nourishment.
I think I should at least get 1 orb of nourishment because...
We each get 2.
Oh!
they're just messing with each other.
Oh. Messing?
Joking.
Okay, no, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Which is fun.
I think that the healing potion should either go to yours truly or the cowboy owl over there.
I don't need it. I'm tough. I'm strong. I make my own biscuits. Don't worry about it.
Oh, she can heal herself.
I'm giving the side eye saying, please give it to me, but also.
She can heal herself already.
It's true.
So you're gonna be a frontliner, so you should take the healing potion.
I'm like basically carrying the group right now, so you know.
You'll get the healing potion, and then the last three of us will each get a stamina potion. Jesus. And then 20 gold, and then anyone in dire need of the lantern. If not, I'll just take it.
It's a magic item, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
It's a magic item that tells you other magic items. Never mind, that's not true. Don't listen to me.
I think that should probably go to the
Alright,
most.
so I'm gonna put the stamina potions on the people who got them. So Beavis, you didn't. Oh yeah, Leotorin, you got the healing potion, right?
Yes.
Wait, if you don't take the healing potion, you need a stamina potion?
Yeah, and this will be in your inventory, by the way, so you can check. You should see this standard potion of stamina added to your inventory.
If you get the potion of healing, do you also get to have one of the stamina potions? Because there's only 3 stamina potions.
We already decided this.
You
He's
did?
getting the healing potion. The rest of us are getting stamina.
I didn't remember.
I'll add the orbs and the lantern later. I forgot to put those on Foundry. It's on me.
Okay, I don't mind.
And the tone deaf bard gets the lantern.
Huh?
The tone deaf bard gets the lantern of revealing.
A bar?
Oh.
Not a bar.
Obviously.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ouchie.
Laughs. Beavis laughs. Quietly chuckles. And then sadly looks off and he's like, I missed my arc away now.
Oh wait, so who's getting the lantern?
me.
On shell. Ara.
Aura!
You're right. Here goes this.
All right.
We should
And then, is there anything you guys want to do to prepare for your journey tomorrow?
I don't. I got all the runes I want, so I don't need to inscribe anything. I'm good.
All right. Anyone else?
I think I'm fine as well.
Believe- Have a drink.
All right. Beavis.
Beavis is gonna give me 2 if I can fit
All right. And so,
I'm getting smashed! It's not
so
gonna take that long. 2 feet tall.
yeah, it takes a drink about. So as you guys kind of prepare yourselves for this trip, I think we'll actually end the session there, just because it's getting a little late, and I think
No, we gotta keep on going.
next I mean, I'm free to do a session whenever, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. I mean, I'd be down to do something tomorrow.
Thanksgiving, we're like Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Never mind. I mean, I'd still be down if you guys are down. I'm down, but
Honestly, yeah.
But yeah, that was the.
Yeah,
I'm not in
that
first
was
session.
fun. That was
Yeah,
our first session.
It's D&D!
So I hope you guys had fun. I would have liked to go longer, but it's 11:36, and I can tell we're all a little sleepy.
D&D! I was like, I'm not sleeping.
Not at all.
It's D&D!
With a line, I'm good.
Oh shit.
I'm wired for more D&D.
Right, yeah, but I guess have a good night, guys. Or what?
See you later.
Good night.
I'll be